Hey guys, Jayhan here. I'm a video game vocalist and a video game concert producer, and yeah, I'm back. It's been a couple of months, guys. I'm so sorry. The last video I uploaded, I realized, was a little over 3 months ago. It was the Aline reaction video that I did from the video game Clair Obscur. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. So what I'm going to do with this video here is I'm going to explain a little bit what's been going on my side, so you guys understand why I haven't posted a single thing for the last 3 months. Let me explain a little bit what's been going on, because I've been really busy from summer to fall, and it might explain why I haven't been so active on my YouTube channel. First of all, I've had so many gigs happening over the summer leading up to fall with my band, JiggyTones. We're a video game music rock band, and we do covers of any kind of like video game music. And we had a bunch of gigs leading up to fall. So we performed at Gamescom. We performed 5 concerts at Gamescom. Gamescom was really fun, guys. Like, if you have the chance to go to Gamescom, I highly recommend that you do, especially if you're into video games. And if you're into video game music, me and my band, we perform there every year. We performed at 2 different stages this year, so that was pretty cool. Usually we would perform on a stage called Retro Stage. It's more in the retro area of Gamescom. But this year we also got the chance to perform on the cosplay stage as well, and that was really fun. The stage was a lot bigger, so we had more space, more room to move around. I got to run from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage. So that was pretty fun, really fun. Okay, so one quick thing I want to add, and this is something that really blew my mind. I couldn't believe this actually happened. But when my band and I performed on the retro stage at Gamescom, one of the final songs that we always do is Live and Learn from Crush 40 from Sonic Adventure 2. Me as a vocalist, I love to engage with the audience. So at some point, I had a wireless mic and I got off stage and I started kind of like shoving the mic into people's faces to get them to sing with me the Live and Learn chorus. And I shoved my mic into someone's face who was really, like, I saw from afar, he was really enthusiastic and into the song. So I came to him and I gave him the microphone and he started singing Live and Learn. And it was like so cool. And I was like, hell yeah, that is so awesome. Turns out this guy is actually the producer of Chalk Eaters. I did not know until much later after the concert, where he started following us on socials, and he was telling us how much he really enjoyed our concert. So apparently he really likes our stuff. Dude, we love your stuff. So if ever you come across this video, that just know that we love you. Other than that, I got to see, every year with my band, we actually go to Gamescom Opening Night Live, I think it's called. And we got to see in person our faces on the big screen, basically. That was pretty insane. We were just watching the segment that was done about like Gamescom community, and me and my band members, we were just sitting there, we were chatting with each other, and then for a moment we look up at that screen, and suddenly you see me pointing my fingers to the audience, and basically we got to have our own cameo during Gamescom opening night live, and that was pretty fun. I made a whole thing about it on social media. I couldn't believe it. It was so cool. It was so cool. All right, so I want to share a quick thing right here regarding the performance from Lorien Testard and Alice Duport-Percier. It was amazing. Honestly, guys, if you have the chance to see them live, go for it. It is truly a remarkable and breathtaking experience. Yeah, it was only Alice and Lorien that performed on stage together. It was an acoustic rendition of Alicia, but it was still so very beautiful. And you know, there's something very special about the way they perform together. They have this sort of chemistry between them when they look at each other as they perform their parts. You know, like you see Lorien, he's plucking on his strings, looking down and then looking at Alice. And then Alice herself, she's kind of like really in the moment and she's singing her heart out. And then she sometimes looks over to Lorien, and both of them kind of like exchange these kind of looks together. And it's just so beautiful to see this. But I'll be very honest with you guys. For me, it sounded great while I was there. But when I re-listened to the live stream of it, Gamescom really messed up on the audio. I don't know how that happened. Basically, Lorien's guitar playing kept cutting out. That's why I have to say this, guys. If you have the slight chance to see some of your favorite video game music soundtracks being performed live, I highly suggest that you go see them live. A live stream version of a concert is never going to capture the magic and the experience, the emotions of that moment when you're there on site. So yeah, go see them live if you can, okay, guys? Lots of love to Lorien and Alice. You guys were absolutely amazing. And here's to hoping that I see you guys perform live again. With my band, I've been so busy. Our first series of gigs was at Gamescom. And then we had to prep for our other gigs, including the gigs that we would do here in Switzerland. And that was like also requiring a lot of preparation. In addition to that, right after Gamescom, I had to jump into working with my company, Helvepic, because we were organizing the David Arkenstone Swiss tour. David Arkenstone is a 5-time Grammy-nominated composer and performer. He's known for doing tavern music and kind of like Celtic style music for the video game World of Warcraft. We got to meet him last year when my company and we organized the World of Warcraft concerts. And since he really enjoyed working with us, he wanted to perform here in Switzerland. So we organized a whole tour during the summer, and it was a lot of fun, guys. It was a lot of work, of course, but a lot of things happened during that tour. We had like a convention cancel on us, so that was great. So we had to really think on our feet and try to find different venues for David to perform at, since he was here in Switzerland to do a tour and stuff like that. So we really had to find a way to find these different venues. Also because he had already paid for his musicians to be in Switzerland to perform. So we really had to run all over the place to find different venues. And we did, fortunately, we did. So that was pretty fun. At Helvepic, while I do work in the marketing team, I do a lot of the PR aspect when it comes to the work that we do. So sometimes I do take care of the guests, and when the guests arrived here in Switzerland, I kind of showed them around. Of course, this was a task that was shared by my friend Alexander. We kind of like shared a little bit the task of managing our guests, the artists. There's a little anecdote that I wanted to share with you guys, and this can sometimes happen during a tour. When you're touring an artist, right, you get to know them, you get to even see how they work, and you get sometimes some really cool and exciting opportunities. So me being a vocalist, it just so happened I got offered such an opportunity. Let me explain. So the way the tour was organized is that David Arkenstone's agent, Cindy Gage, and the musicians that traveled with David would arrive first in Switzerland and then sometime later, David would arrive, basically. The agent arrived, and normally she does that, to kind of like, scout everything and make sure everything is okay, get a little bit familiar with the place before, the main artist himself arrives. And when she arrived, Cindy, she pulled me to the side, and she and we had a chat, and I find out that David Arkenstone had been involved in a symphonic rock project, and that he had been working on that on his way to Switzerland. So the agent, she kind of like made me listen to like a rough version of that track, and it was really, really cool. So I felt already really happy with the fact that I get to listen to some of the projects that are not yet revealed, basically. I can talk about it right now because we announced it on social media. So she showed me that, and then I was like really bobbing my head. It was like really such a cool track. And then when I'm done, she looks over to me. She's got a bit of like a smile on her face. And I'm like, this is such a really cool track. And she goes like, yeah, I know. And guess what? David wants your vocals on it. Oh, what? So basically, what happened next was, as we were doing this tour, David's agent, Cindy, booked a recording session in a studio so that I could record lead vocals on this track. And that was my first time working with a video game composer, or with a composer in general, in a studio. So while all of this was happening, I had to prepare this song on the side. And it was happening during the time where there was so much going on, where we were all doing so many things. This is only kind of like me managing like Helvepic related stuff. I also had other things happening on the side in addition to that, prepping for my band to arrive here in Switzerland when we would do our concerts here. So I had so much going on. And in addition to that, I had to learn lyrics. I had to learn the melody. I had to learn harmonies for that. And I had 1 week, guys, while all of this was going on. And it was really cool. Honestly, I do love a good challenge, and this was a really cool way to see how I would manage everything, and at the same time how I would manage as a vocalist. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone because, when you're working as a concert producer and a vocalist, you will be dealing with so much stress that it does impact your vocal performance. I'm really proud of myself because I managed okay. I really, I struggled a little bit because, it was a mix between being stressed and not feeling confident at certain moments, going like, oh no, I messed up because I had already so much on my plate and all that stuff. Yeah, so let me just a little bit talk about how it went in the studio, and because I really, really want to share this. So I arrived in the studio, and David was there and Cindy was there. Basically, it was a very small studio, and it looked very, very professional. And I had already warmed up my voice before arriving, but I still took a little bit of time to kind of like warm up my voice again. And I went over to David. We kind of like went over, the song. He kind of like picked up his guitar in the recording studio, and he would play some notes, and I would try to sing on it. And then he would go like, okay, yeah, that's good. And that's good. Let's try it out with the microphone. Like, let's try recording you now. So the way the recording sessions went is that we would record in different segments. We would focus first on the segments that were easier for me to perform. So mostly the segments in which I would sing in the lower vocal register. And then we would progressively go to the parts that would be higher and probably that would require more belting. And which, like if you do a recording session and you do a lot of belting, your voice gets really easily worn out. So the fact that we did it like progressively, like that we focused progressively on the different vocal registers really helped to make sure that the quality of my voice was maintained, or, that it would still be there. So first we would record the verses, then we would record the bridge, then we would record the choruses, because in the chorus, that part was always the highest part. And it was really, really amazing because, for me, I not gonna lie, this was my first time in a recording studio with a composer of his caliber, like 5-time Grammy-nominated composer. I was a little bit nervous because for me, it's always important to be at my A game, to deliver the best vocal takes ever, basically. I'm a perfectionist. I try to be a perfectionist. It's kind of dumb when you think about it, because we're all human and we're bound to make mistakes. And sometimes it's the mistakes that makes things really amazing and beautiful. So in between takes, David would come into the recording studio and he would give me like the biggest, warmest hug. And then he would give me some notes, like saying, okay, this was done really well. You should maybe do more like this, blah, 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 blah. And then he would go out and then we would do like another recording session. And in these kind of moments when you're so nervous, you kind of like, you tense up and all that. And the fact that David came in and he just gave me like these hugs, I'm a very huggable person. It helped release the tension and the stress, basically. It was such a great recording session. I learned so much from the experience. Oh, and also during these recording sessions, I told my friend Alexander, the CEO from Helvepic, to join in on these recording sessions as a backup vocalist. And he brought in some singers from the epic music choir in Switzerland called Tale of Fantasy. So that was pretty fun. So yeah, that kind of happened during the Arkenstone Swiss tour. That was pretty fun. While we were doing this tour, not only did we organize, concerts, but we also organized masterclasses with a private school in which David not only got to teach students how to jam on some Celtic music, but also got to review some of the compositions that the more advanced level students had done in these classes. And that was a lot of fun. And it's so fascinating to hear David's input on things. We were also joined by our music director, Bernard Duke, who is also Swiss, but actually lives in the States. But for this tour, he was here in Switzerland. And he also gave feedback as a professional composer and arranger. For anyone who doesn't know Bernard Duke, he is known to compose film music and orchestral music. And he even got to work directly under Lorien, who, for some of my video game friends here, he is a composer, obviously, but he's also the same person who manages the Video Game Awards Orchestra. I believe he's also the conductor in question. So yeah, Bernard Duke got to work with him. And so he works with us at Helvepic and he manages everything like in terms of like music and artistic direction related. So bottom line, we had a lot going on. And while all of this was happening, I was managing and organizing my band to come to Switzerland because we had plans to perform at the same convention as David Arkenstone. So yeah, there was a lot going on. And this was like right after Gamescom in September to beginning of October. Like my weeks were completely packed. So while all of this was going on, I was organizing for my band, basically. I had to find ways to bring my band to Switzerland. And that included like also kind of like accommodating them. So they stayed at my place, organizing in terms of like, how do we do from getting to my place to the convention venue? So I prepared and organized a lot of things leading up to HeroFest and for Helvepic. And as soon as we had our first day at HeroFest, I had to switch responsibilities and focus more on my band because I cannot do it's a lot of work to be able to manage two. And when you're not only the manager, but also the artist. So I switched responsibilities and focused only on my video game rock band, JiggyTones. Okay, I'm going to share a quick anecdote here because Thursday, the day before the convention of HeroFest, was pretty insane. Thursday was a very important day because not only was it the day where I would rehearse with my band at HeroFest, in preparation for the weekend, but it was also the day where my band would be traveling from Germany to get to Bern to do the rehearsal first, and then travel to Lausanne, where I live, to come and stay at my place, basically. But here's the plot twist, all right? On that same day, I had also a prior engagement. In other words, I had to travel to a completely different city called Siders, which is on the other side of Switzerland, because I had a gig there. It was a concert that I was going to give at my friend's photography exhibition. Our agreement was that I would come to perform a concert for opening up his exhibition in exchange for his services as a concert photographer for me and my band on the next day, which included some of the guest performers that were going to join us. So, in other words, and this is how my day went. From where I live, I traveled in the morning from Lausanne to Bern to HeroFest. And then from 1 p.m. to around 4:30, 4:45, I met up with my friends. We set everything up, and our rehearsal started from 2 to 4 normally. But we, got delayed on certain technical aspects. Then I would have to take a train to get to Siders, which took like almost 2 hours to get there. My gig started at 6:30 and I was already late. I arrived at 6:30, I set up, and I started my concert at 6:45. And luckily, the area where I was performing at was literally right next to the train station. So as soon as I finished my concert, which was about an hour, I had literally 7 minutes to pack up and to catch my train so I could get home in time to my place, because my band was still in Bern. They had no key to get into the house. So basically, I would have to dash back home and basically open up the place so that they could actually get into the house. So basically, I traveled to 3 different cities, very far apart from each other. And it was very, very hectic. I can't believe I managed that, but I did, and I'm that blew my mind. I can't believe I managed that. So we got to perform how many times? Three times during HeroFest, including on the main stage, and we got to perform. Okay, and this is something that really blows my mind. Okay, so first of all, as a music artist, I was invited to perform with David Arkenstone at HeroFest. And it was really amazing. For that occasion, I got to perform 3 different songs. The first one being Misty Mountains from The Hobbit, and then 2 songs that David wrote from his one of his albums, his Grammy-nominated albums called Quest for the Runestone. And what I thought was really special is that one of these songs was originally an instrumental song only, but for the occasion of HeroFest, he and his agent Cindy Gage wrote lyrics for me so that I could perform them with David on stage. And that kind of blows my mind because, David Arkenstone writing for this occasion, for me, that just kind of blows my mind. So I was really, really incredibly grateful for this opportunity. And I really love that song. It's called Rareware Reawakened, and it's about this girl who goes on a quest to save her village from natural disasters, basically. So, and this song was kind of a way to indicate hope that in the face of adversity and obstacles. And I just really loved performing that. It's such a powerful and emotional song for me. It really came at a time when I was first told about that, and that was before the Arkenstone Tour, that David wanted me to sing that song at HeroFest. It really came at a time where I was really, really struggling a lot, and that I had a lot going on. And this song provided a lot of hope and comfort during those struggles. So I was really, really grateful for that. In addition to the fact that I got to perform with David Arkenstone, I knew really way in advance that, my band, JiggyTones, would be performing at the same convention as David Arkenstone, but also Video Games Rock. And Video Games Rock, for those who don't know, is the band with members of Rareware Inc. You know, the people who developed games such as Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong 64, James Bond 007, GoldenEye. Video Games Rock is comprised of David Wise, who is known as the composer for many titles such as Donkey Kong Country, Star Fox Adventures, etc. It's comprised of Kev Bayless, who is known as the daddy of Donkey Kong, the guy who designed the Donkey Kong character from the Nintendo 64 that is still being used to this day. Then you have David Doak, Dr. David Doak, who worked as a director, but also as a screenplay, like a script writer for some of the Rareware Inc. games, including GoldenEye 007, 64. You had also Nigel Atkins, who is this crazy awesome drummer who knows David Wise personally. And then finally, we have Phil Jordan as well, who is this incredible guitar player. Okay, one quick thing to add. Video Games Rock normally has also Grant Kirkhope in it. Grant Kirkhope being known as the composer for video game titles such as GoldenEye 007, but also Banjo-Kazooie, as well as Donkey Kong 64. He's the guy who wrote the DK rap, the famous DK rap. But sadly, he couldn't make it this year. Grant, you were really, really missed. So here's to hoping that we can all hang out with you together and not just have fun and make music together, but also that we get the chance to see whose roasting skills are better, my bass player or yours. You know, it's all done in good fun. Basically, you had the Video Games Rock that was also performing there, led by David Wise. And David Wise, he's a person that I know that I already met. And so I reached out to him and said, hey, we're all performing at the same convention. Do you want to guest perform on our set? And he says like, yeah, let's do that. The same offer was extended to David Arkenstone. And he said also, yeah, let's do that. Let's add one more musician to this, flute player. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool, let's do that. So, and then during HeroFest, I find out that those two groups, okay, so Video Games Rock and then David Arkenstone and his musicians, they invited us to perform on their set, kind of like on the spot. So, so I performed with David Arkenstone on a smaller version of the set, you know, together with my bandmate Ben, who is the band leader of JiggyTones. And then for Video Games Rock, and this was so funny, they performed on a smaller stage, a really kind of like smaller stage called the community stage. And they invited us to perform with them on one song. And this part really made me laugh so hard, because they didn't just ask me, they asked all band members of JiggyTones. So at some point we were on stage with Video Games Rock. We're like it's like 6 meters by 3, right? In terms of size. How many were we? We were like 2 guitar players, 1 bass player, 2 drummers, 2 vocalists, 1 pianist, and 1 saxophone player. We were so many people on that stage. We performed the DK rap from Donkey Kong 64. We performed that together with, it was so amazing.
His coconut gun can fire experts, and if he shoots, yeah, it's gonna hurt. He's bigger, faster, stronger too. He's the first member of the DK crew. Donkey Kong, DK, Donkey Kong, DK, Donkey Kong.
They liked us so much, they said, stay on stage. We're going to do one more song together with you guys. It's going to be our ending song. And it was, oh my gosh, I did not know the song. I did not know that version of the song. So I kind of like let Kev Bayless and David Wise take the lead on that song. And I tried to learn and memorize the melody. And then we did that, and I managed to memorize it. And then at some point, Kev Bayless did a harmony on top. And so I had the extra challenge of making sure I got that lead melody right while he did the harmony on top. And it was just like, it was so amazing. We were just kind of like all of us kind of like hugging each other and then just like singing that song. Like, I'm going to preview a clip right here. It was just that amazing.
La 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 la. One last time. La 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 la. Give yourselves a round of applause. We've been Video Games Rock. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on, make some noise.
And so, yeah, so after that concert, we decided, my band, JiggyTones, and Video Games Rock, we would basically hang out. We chatted a lot, and we all really like each other so much that now we're already thinking, hey, let's try to make this happen again. So hopefully we can make that happen again, but therein lies the challenge, basically. All right, I wanted to quickly share another story because this one's really cool. And I tell you, I have a lot of these stories, but I'm not going to share all of them in this video because there's not enough time for that. But I wanted to share a story about Video Games Rock and specifically David Wise, because this one is really, really cool and it blows my mind the way it went down. So this happens during the Video Games Rock concert in the main concert hall on the main stage. So if you can imagine the concert hall, it is big. The stage is massive. There are lots of seats. So the seating is arranged in 3 sections, left, center, and right, with wide aisles between them so people can walk through from the entrance to their seats, basically. So I arrived in the middle of the Video Games Rock concert. I wanted to be there from the start, but I couldn't because I had to get myself ready for the concert with David Arkenstone afterwards. I had to get my dress on. I had to put on makeup. Yeah, I had to do some vocal warm-ups. And so I arrived, right? And David Wise, the composer, he was in the middle of doing his saxophone solo, right? Really incredible solo, and he just plays it like a pro. As soon as he finishes his solo, he looks at the audience. And what he does, and this kind of like really blew my mind, so he suddenly starts walking off stage, right? He walks off stage, he goes through the left wide aisle, that separates the left seatings with the center seatings. And he starts walking, right? Now, the concert hall is really big. So to get from the stage to the entrance of the concert hall takes maybe about, 30, 40 seconds, something like that. So you see him basically walking while everybody else is playing on that stage. He's just walking through that aisle, right? Walking. And everybody here is thinking like, what is he doing? Like what is he doing? And then I'm thinking like, okay, he must be heading towards the entrance of the concert hall, right? And then suddenly he looks in my direction and he starts walking towards me. And you see, all of this is happening. It's like, I'm wondering like, what is he doing? Oh shit, is he coming towards me? Yes, he's coming towards me. What the heck is going on? So he walks up towards me, right? And he just like, very nonchalantly, like, the concert is still going on. He's just telling me, oh, hey, we're inviting David Arkenstone to perform with us on our set. Have you seen him anywhere? And I'm, as I hear this, in my mind, I'm going like, what the is going on there? Huh? Like from the stage to coming up to, this is such a power move as a musician and as a performer. Like, imagine being the audience member and, you know, like these incredible performers are on stage and making really awesome music. And you have one of them that just kind of like in the middle of a performance, just walks up to you and just chats with you like, as if nothing is going on, right? So this is like, and I respond, like I take a short moment to respond because I'm kind of like flabbergasted at the moment. And then I tell him, oh yeah, you know, David Arkenstone, he's usually seated there. So he'll probably come up when the time is right. And then David Wise, he goes like, he smiles and he goes like, okay, thanks. And then gives me a thumbs up. And then he walks back on stage. Like 30 seconds, I'm seeing him return on that main stage, right? And in my mind, I'm still going like, did this just happen? Wow, this was so amazing. So why did I want to share this story? I wanted to share this story because this is such a power move as a performer and as a musician. People will remember you for not just performing the music, but the way you engage with the audience. And that, my friends, that makes their concerts all the more memorable. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be stealing that move for my next concert. Sorry, David. Much appreciated. Thanks for the idea. Sorry, David. This was such a cool move. I'm still blown away that you even pulled that off with so much class and so much style. So yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to be stealing that move. Anyway, back to the main story. So yeah, as soon as HeroFest was done, I had to take a bit of a break. Kind of recover a little bit from all of this. It was a very intense 2-3 months, basically. And I had a lot of fun, and it was probably, artistically speaking, it was a very, very fulfilling last couple of months, basically. I got to perform a total of like 12 concerts, actually, come to think of it. And it was like it was very, very intense. Well, 12, no, even more, 14, I'd say. 14 in the span of 2 months, you know, for different gigs, for different groups. So that was, and having a recording session. So yeah, that was pretty intense, but I feel artistically, I felt very fulfilled in that sense. All of this basically happened in a span of 2 months. So now that I'm back, here are a couple of things that I have planned right now. So first of all, I still have my work with Helvepic, and at Helvepic, we are planning a lot of things, including the World of Warcraft concerts in France next year. So I'm going to be a little bit busy with that and busy with another project that we'll get to in a bit, you know, when it's time to announce it. Second of all, I do want to stream Clair Obscur. I definitely want to do that. The only issue is that I have to now replace my Wi-Fi box because it's not up to par for streaming standards. I'll have to take a little bit of time, and I will get to live streaming this, but it's gonna take time. So my question to you guys would be actually, do you guys want to wait until I live stream that game, or do you want me to react to different types of Clair Obscur music in the meantime leading up to it? Because reality is this is going to take time. I'm not familiar with how I'm supposed to live stream, especially a console game, because I have a PS5 that a friend lent me. So this is going to take time. I'll let you guys tell me in the comments below like how you feel about me holding off reactions to Clair Obscur music, or still going on with it, but leading up to the live stream, basically. I do also want to react to different types of video game music content. I have plans to do that right after this update video. I'm going to be filming for another content. So you can definitely expect other video game music content aside from Clair Obscur. Personally, I also want to take more initiative in raising an awareness for video game music, not only online, but locally speaking. One thing I've learned is that Switzerland, unfortunately, is so far behind when it comes to awareness on video game music, for example. And one of my initiatives will be to organize, participate, organize more panels, or do more projects that would raise that awareness. Because I was genuinely surprised at the amount of people at HeroFest who did not know about some aspects of video game music. And I think that's a bit of a shame. And so I'll be taking more time to kind of plan and develop and come up with things that would raise that awareness, basically. So these are a little bit my plans in general, which includes plans for my channel, but also plans in general in terms of what I will be doing for the next couple of months. But yeah, I'm back, guys, and now I'm gonna take the time to kind of like manage and coordinate things a little bit and slowly get back into producing content for my YouTube channel. And I'm really, really excited to be back. Like, if we get to the point of live stream, I'll definitely be sharing a lot more details about the way things went at HeroFest, because boy, oh boy, I have a bunch of stuff to share, and it was pretty awesome. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to stop for now. So because I have so many things to do. I just wanted to take this moment to thank you all so much for being patient with me. This whole reaction thing is still a very new thing for me. It takes time for me to develop content around this format for me. But I really appreciate you guys sticking around. So yeah, stay tuned for more. I'm gonna be talking a lot about different types of content not related to Clair Obscur. But if you guys still want some Clair Obscur content, you're gonna have to let me know in the comments. It's just that I will not be able to understand more of the context until I play the game. So if you guys still want to have my analysis on the content of Clair Obscur, just let me know. Just let me know, guys, okay? So thanks for sticking around, guys. I'm happy to be back, and I look forward to tackling the next video game music track together with you guys. So take care, everyone. Bye.